Hello, Squirrel Tribe. So before we do anything, I want to just give you kind of a public service announcement or a warning on what you're about to see, because it's not gory or anything like that. It's nothing along those lines, but it is morally disturbing in my personal opinion. And so I need you to just be aware of what you're about to see, because let me give you a little info into it. It's a teacher, number one. It's a teacher in California, number two. And number three, it's a teacher who is teaching non-English speaking students how to speak English, teaching them about our country and our language and everything else. Keep that part in mind. I want you to watch this. All right, you ready?
My room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
This teacher has no problem removing.
That is the pride flag. This student, number one, is expected to say the Pledge of Allegiance in school, which most schools will do, right? They say the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of the day. And this teacher or this student notices that there is no flag to pledge allegiance to. So it's weird. They're just standing around and they're confused about it. And so the teacher goes, oh no, I have one you can pledge allegiance to. You can pledge your allegiance to the gay pride flag. That is just wrong on so many levels. I want to say blasphemy, but I don't know if blasphemy is the correct word, because I think that's supposed to be used in religion only. But it is definitely not okay, in my personal opinion. Teachers like that should not be allowed in schools. Now, that brings me to a different topic that goes kind of along the same lines, and let me explain what I mean. So I think that teachers like that shouldn't be allowed in schools. Teachers that are, telling you to, pledge allegiance to the gay pride flag. Although there's nothing wrong with being gay. You do you, boo. But when you're telling in school that these children should pledge allegiance to the gay pride flag, that's a little wrong, in my personal opinion. But at the same time, now you have Oklahoma coming in and saying that they are going to make sure that Bibles are in every classroom, and that the Ten Commandments are taught. Bibles are taught. That's not really the right way to phrase that, but everything is going to be taught in school now. And a lot of people have issues with that. Why can't, these teachers teach gay pride or pronouns or trans this or whatever it is, if you're allowed to then teach, religion? It's got to be, everybody should be able to do what they want. That's the argument that is going around right now. And it's such a weird argument, in my opinion, because there's one that to me seems clearly right and one that seems clearly wrong. But if you're on the flip side of it, the other one seems right and the other one seems wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you are far left leaning, then having Bibles and 10 Commandments in the school is probably going to bother you. But the trans flag or the gay pride flag or this other stuff or pronouns, they're going to love it. They're going to cheer for it. They're going to vote for it, right? Versus the other side, if you are right leaning, you would appreciate having some sort of morals brought back into the school with the Bibles, with the 10 Commandments, and you're not going to appreciate the trans flags, the gay flags, the pronouns, the everything else in schools, because it is not a school's place to teach those things, to push those things. But don't they both kind of fall in the same line, right? To some people. Now, I'm not picking a side. Well, yes, I am. I think that the flags and the pronouns and everything is extremely stupid. So technically, I am picking a side. But there are going to be a lot of people out there who say that you can't say no to one and yes to the other. But this is what Oklahoma is doing. Oklahoma said, screw you, I'm going to do what I want, and they're going to put the 10 Commandments and Bibles back in schools. So Louisiana is the first state in the country to put the 10 Commandments in schools. They passed that. They were the first state in the country to do that. Now Oklahoma's like, you know what? Let's start a wave, dudes. Let's get in this, because now we're bringing the Bible back into class. So I want to just read to you some of the headlines from articles that I came across. And you're going to hear one that makes you go, really? That's how you want to phrase this? So this one from NBC News says, OK schools head vows sanctions for teachers who won't teach the Bible. Okay. This one from Daily KOS, Oklahoma forces the Bible on students as Christian nationalism digs in. Okay, you got this one here from the Oklahoman, Oklahoma Teaching the Bible, what we know about Ryan Walters' directive. That's the guy from the school board who has made this happen. You have the New York Times, the Bible in public schools, Oklahoma pushes limits of long tradition. Then from AP News, Associated Press, you have what to know about Oklahoma's top education official ordering Bibles for the schools. Then on Yahoo, Oklahoma schools chief orders Bible taught in class. And then from People magazine, Oklahoma schools are now required to teach the Bible and the 10 Commandments. Out of all of those, only, in my opinion, one of them sounded like they were not on board with it. And that would be the one from Daily Kos, K-O-S. Oklahoma forces the Bible on students as Christian nationalism digs in. That to me is probably the leftist article. I did not click on that one. So I will say that I've tried to pick the most neutral one. And so I have the article from People magazine here. And I just want to kind of give you an idea of what it's about. Because after seeing that woman's video, which was on TikTok to begin with, after seeing her video, the one I just showed you was from PragerU. I don't know if you guys have ever seen PragerU on YouTube or Instagram. I love their Instagram reels when they go to colleges and ask these kids questions, and these kids have no clue what they're talking about, no clue what they're protesting, no clue what they're upset about. Just the degradation of our society. The younger they are, it seems like the dumber they're getting, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But now we know why. It's teachers like that in California. But because of that, made me think of the whole Bible thing in Oklahoma, because maybe if California would get their heads out their butt and do something to bring back some sort of core values, some sort of traditional values, it would not be the shithole that it has turned into. California used to be a nice place. California now, nobody wants to be there. It's too expensive. It's run by morons and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, according to this People magazine article, Oklahoma schools are now required to teach the Bible and 10 Commandments. This is a quote here from Ryan Walters, Oklahoma superintendent. He says, the Bible is an indispensable historical and cultural touchstone. A lot of people will agree with that, right? He's added that he expects schools' strict adherence to the mandate. Now, I will be the first one to say, not a fan of the word mandate, given the last couple of years and some of the mandates they threw out at us. Not a big fan of that word, but I understand that in this case, maybe it makes sense and coincides with what he's talking about. But according to everything that has transpired in the last couple days, Oklahoma schools are now required to incorporate the Bible into their curriculum due to a new state mandate from the Oklahoma superintendent. Ryan Walters, who is the Oklahoma superintendent of public instruction, announced the news at the Oklahoma Board of Education meeting on Thursday, June 27th, just a few days ago, and sent a memo to schools announcing the changes. In the memo that was obtained by one of the local news stations, Walters ordered that the Bible, including the 10 Commandments, be taught in classrooms from grade 5 through 12. He also noted in the memo that the Bible is one of the most historically significant books and has had a substantial influence on our nation's founders and the foundational principles of our Constitution. No lies told there, my dudes. Like, everything he said is correct. If you look at the Constitution, there is a lot about religion in there. God is in it. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, one nation under God. Even our Pledge of Allegiance has religious tones to it. So this makes perfect sense. Now, I will say that I am for the fact that he's not starting it until 5th grade, and let me explain why. Some people think you should get on religion the second you're out of the womb. Go ahead and start it. For me personally, I think that it's better once a child has their own working brain to understand what's being told to them instead of parroting what's being told to them. There's nothing wrong with, repeating what you've heard regarding the Bible and things like that, unless, of course, it's wrong. But in my personal opinion, it is good that he's waiting till 5th grade to start this and moving it all the way through the end of high school, because at that point, these children have a better knowledge and understanding. They know how to what's the right word? Take in the information, think it through, try to figure out what it means to them, and really understand and dial into what they're learning and being told and being shown, and make up their own minds and opinions on stuff. Before 5th grade, there's still some really smart kids out there, obviously, but I do believe that at 5th grade, you have a better chance of really understanding what's going on and making better decisions with how you hear the information that's being presented to you, how you retain the information being presented to you, and how you look at it from more than just I have to memorize this kind of standpoint, right? I feel like if more states would do more to bring morals back into schools, we would have less juvenile delinquents of every ethnicity out there. Just so we're all fully aware, every religion, every ethnicity, everything. There are juvenile delinquents all across the board, thugs, hoodlums, whatever words that want to be used, they go all the way across the board, every skin tone, every age, whatever. But I do believe that in schools, if they brought something back in to help guide these kids into understanding the core principles of being a decent human, that it would be a much better thing. I don't think that schools need to be talking to kids about what their pronouns are or what gender they think they are, because there's only two genders, the one you're born with, male or female. There is nothing else. No in between. No, let's flip it, whatever. There are two, and it's what you're born with, and that is all that needs to be taught in schools. If they want to teach something else, do that in college where you're paying for it. That's my personal opinion on that. So I want to say props to the Oklahoma Superintendent Ryan Walters. I want to say I'm glad that the lady who made that TikTok video, turns out she has been canned from her job, which I was very surprised because California is very open and whatever else. But it turns out if there's enough backlash, things can change. Change can happen. So and when you see something wrong happening, open your mouth, say something, because maybe it'll turn things around. You see more people like that woman that are posting these stupid things or doing these things and teaching these kids these things in classrooms and wherever else. Say something. Get them taken out of a place that they should not be in. She should never be teaching children, my personal opinion, right? But I thought this was absolutely crazy that she made, one, that she was stupid enough to make that video, and two, that she was even dumber to post it online. Like, hello. You're supposed to have at least two brain cells to rub together if you're going to sit here and try to teach the youth, right? Obviously not the case. So thankfully she is out of a job, and hopefully nobody else gives her another one teaching children. Whether it's teaching them English or not, she should not be in front of any child that's trying to learn anything. So that's that. Listen, Squirrel Tribe, I love y'all immensely. I want your thoughts and opinions on all of this. Please feel free to say what you want, because it's an open conversation here in the comment section of the Squirrel Tribe community. I love y'all immensely, and I'll see you again later. Bye.